we could have done a better job in communicating what it does. We address disinformation that presents a security threat to the homeland. Our work does not infringe on free speech.
Okay, so
does not infringe on civil rights, civil liberties. It's not about speech.
Well,
it's about the connectivity to violence.
Is that all? Well, DHS Secretary Mayorkas yesterday defending the administration's new Disinformation Governance Board from critics accusing them, the administration, of trying to stifle free speech before the midterms.
Fox News contributor Newt Gingrich is the author of an upcoming book. It's called Defeating Big Government Socialism, and he joins us now to react. Good morning to you, Newt.
Good morning. How are you?
We're doing well. So he was saying, I wish that I explained it better. And then he went on the Sunday shows to try to explain it. But we were saying this morning, if it's about violence, stopping violence on social media, why not call it the Anti-Violence Board, the Disinformation Board that's launched the same week that that Musk buys Twitter? It just seems suspicious.
Look, I think, first of all, this is a good example of big government socialism at work. This is a censorship board. Now, the First Amendment of the Constitution says you can't make any law that affects free speech. So Mayorkas, who I think should be impeached immediately, and the board should be defunded immediately, Mayorkas is essentially explaining that they're going to break the Constitution, exercise censorship, and that's what it is, censorship, and we're supposed to trust their appointees, who are all left-wingers, to be fair and neutral. This is nonsense. I mean, these people are crazy. And I think we need to understand what they're trying to do is a total violation of the American Constitution. By the way, by a man who admitted to Jim Jones the other day, Congressman Jones, or Jordan rather, Jim Jordan, that he didn't know how many terrorists had actually made it in the U.S., where they were, what was happening with them. So his real job to protect the American people is not being done, while his new job to censor you and me is being done.
Not to mention, Mr. Speaker, he was asked how many cases. He says the #1 threat to America domestically is white nationalism and domestic terrorism. He was asked by Greg Steube to name one case that's been referred. He could not name one as well. So what does it tell you? What are the real priorities of DHS? We talk about the border being wide open. They say it's closed. We talk about this new disinformation board. What do they think their mission is right now?
Well, Pete, I mean, first of all, I keep using certain words deliberately. When somebody says to you, the border is closed, and you watch the footage on Fox and every other network of hundreds of people at a time crossing the Rio Grande, you're dealing with a person who is either a total liar, which in this administration is plausible, or a person who's absolutely delusional, out of touch with reality. But in either case, they shouldn't be in the cabinet. I mean, how can you have a DHS secretary who says with a straight face the border is closed, as you and I are being told that if they drop Title 42, they're going to be 19,000 people a day. That's the city of Atlanta every month coming in. This kind of stuff, I cannot overstate this. This is not about ideology. This is about mental illness. This is about people who are crazy and they're out of touch with reality. And I think that we need to recognize that people have got to take control back. And insist on people who have some touch with reality.
Mr. Speaker, let's talk a little bit about what happened down in your neck of the woods over the weekend. The President of the United States was in attendance at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. In the meantime, we found out a few hours later that apparently Nancy Pelosi secretly flew to Europe and wound up meeting with President Zelensky to show solidarity with the Ukrainian people. What does it say that she went and Joe Biden has not? And I'm sure he would say, or his team would say, it's just not safe.
Well, let me say, first of all, that I think that Nancy Pelosi deserves some credit. It would have been better had she taken Kevin McCarthy, who's the next Speaker of the House, because it's obvious that you're going to have a continuity of commitment. And I think having a bipartisan delegation would have been a lot better. And Pelosi's just such a hard partisan. She took only Democrats, which in the long run is stupid. because you want to communicate to Ukraine that there's a bipartisan commitment that no matter who wins this fall, we're going to support Ukraine against Putin. I think on secondly, we've had all sorts of presidents go into danger zones. We've had presidents go into Iraq. We've had them go into Afghanistan. This idea that somehow it's too big a security problem tells you a lot more about, look, this is an administration, by the way, where the president is afraid to go anywhere unless he's totally protected. So he could have sent Kamala, and the idea that it would be unsafe for Kamala is a joke. I think that, but it tells you a lot about the Biden administration.
Would be unsafe for the ears of the world.
I think she was in COVID timeout. Newt Gingrich has got a new book coming out soon. It's called Defeating Big Government Socialism. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good to be with you.